I'm doing this video, they said no one's been arrested and no one will be arrested because of this. They're going to keep doing it. So they admitted that they were talking out loud and pretending it was me thinking it and accusing me of saying all sorts of nasty stuff. That was what I said before. So as long as they keep admitting the truth, then they'll be better off, because they were recording each other to blackmail each other. I wanted to say something really fast. So they said, when were you ever in a union? I've been in a union since I was a flight attendant. I was in a flight attendant union. Here's, from 2001, from when I was in a union. This was part of this information when I was in union. So they said, I support unions. Why would I support unions? I was never in a union. So I was in a flight attendants union. I was with a union in a phone company. I was in a union again in 2013, I believe, and definitely in 2014 and 2015. So yeah, I have union experience. This is a book. They always say I don't support Black issues. So this is a book, The Harder We Run, Black Workers Since the Civil War. And this is what it says. The Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. If the porters can organize their industry, hold their ranks, prove their fighting ability in the interest of the working class, it will be a profound effect on the attitude of white organized labor, and it will have a profound effect upon the organizable capacity of Negro workers in other industries. These men who punch our pillows and shine our shoes and stow our bags under the seats bear in their hands no little of the responsibility for the industrial future of their race. And that's from The Nation, June 9th, 1926, I believe this says. And I'll put it right here so you guys can see what I just read. So what they were saying is they're going to be able to read at my reading level out loud as I'm reading to distract me. I keep telling you, the people doing this are doing this to hurt me. They're not seeing through my eyes. If they were able to see through my eyes, they would be able to read at my reading level, not out loud, but as I'm reading it in my head. Do you guys know what I'm trying to say? Everyone keeps getting this confused. I'm telling you this. As I'm reading to you out loud, they would have been able to read along in my head the way I'm reading. It wouldn't be them trying to read out loud. Do you know what the difference is? So, okay, let me do it like this. As I'm talking to you, they would be able to repeat exactly what I'm saying as I'm saying it, like that. It wouldn't have any different accent, slower reading pace, different rate. It would be the same. That's what I'm telling you. It's a trick. So I'm going to call this the trick to the trick. That's the trick to the trick. If you had this done to you, you know that there are problems with this system. Why not just do videos or write what the problem is to the system? That's what I'm doing. That's the trick to the trick. The trick is that it's not me reading. It's not my reading pace. They keep trying to force me to believe this. And that's the trick to the trick. If they were following my life all along, they would have known this existed. Even when they broke in and they were looking for stuff, they would have known this existed, and that would have let them know, oh yeah, the reason they always say Shamega. The reason Shamega is union and proud is because I've seen the effects of unions on how unions can change lives. So that's my point. So that's that part. So that's where the union thing with me comes in. Now here's what comes in with this novel. They talked about it and they said, well, maybe the reason I wrote this was based on someone I knew. And so here's this issue. They said, well, that happens to be your friend's mother's name. It's not my friend's mother's name. What happened was I told my friend years ago, I wrote this, what date is on this? Oh, I didn't put the date. It's a 78,000 word novel that I wrote. I think that was it. Well, I don't know what this is exactly right now because I yeah, I think it was 78,000 words. I wrote this and I put my name on it, my number, and my voicemail at the time. That's how many years ago it was voicemail. And so they said that they inspired it. So here's the truth. My friend and I went out one time and I happened to say a name to a guy who liked me. And she said, "Do you know that's my mom's name?" I said, "No, I didn't know that was your mom's name." So it actually was her mom's name before I knew it was her mom's name. And that's why my character is named that in my novel, which is called Across the Lines, that one day I hope to publish. And as you can see, the pseudonym I used for it was a pseudonym I had been using for years before I actually had a manager by the same name. They said these types of things always happen to me. Again, they keep admitting the truth. I happen to have a name that I like that then becomes a name that I meet someone by. This happens a lot in my case. They admit it. That means they did not inspire it. Are they invading my privacy? Yes, they are. But in invading my privacy, they keep saying the truth out loud that other people are recording. And I think that's what this was. This was the trick of the trick. I think it was them blackmailing each other, and they included me to cover it up. But by me telling you folks about it, now everybody knows that this exists. And that's part of the trick of the trick. The trick, to me, a trick is when you don't know how it works. You know, when I was doing the series, I'm trying to cross my legs, and, you know, they said, you know, I'm hiding my sickness. I think, you know, the process of getting sick and then having to adjust to life when you're sick is like a simple thing like me crossing my legs is something I would do when I'm talking, and it changes my ability to speak. So that's something that I will have to get used to. But the trick of the trick is that you don't know how it works. Once you expose how it works and expose these tricks, it doesn't work the same again. So for all of you folks insisting that it is how it works, I will now do research to show you it's not. It's not. I will do that because I think it's important that for people who are victimized by these folks, you have to know how these tricks work. And eventually, one of them will reveal the trick. I think that would have been a great YouTube channel. I would have subscribed to a Gangstalker's YouTube channel because I want to know how they tricked people. And that's something so strange about this, that as the victims are doing videos, we're all saying, well, how did this work? And you would think that someone who would, you know, was a gang stalker would come up with a channel. Here are all our tricks. Here's how this system works. I don't know why they didn't do it. Why would they not do that? And that's part of how I think this happened. So they keep wondering, well, when am I going to get so angry, filled with rage? That isn't me. I told you I'm logical. As a logical person, I want to know, how does the trick work? Show me how it happens. Show me how this process was allowed to occur to so many people over and over again before we started exposing the tricks. So I hope this video, I'm currently uploading a video, it's taking forever, but I hope I don't want to use up too much space on my video, on my memory, because if I have to do another video later, I will. But this is how these tricks work. It works because people don't know how it works. But once you get the trick behind the trick, or maybe I'll call this video the trick behind the trick, I'm not sure. Once you get the trick behind the trick, you get the truth out there and people start to come forward. So they said, I'm going to tell you guys what they said. They wanted me to talk about something that happened in 1991 because that's where their obsession is. They said this whole thing was to discredit me enough that all their things that they did wrong, no one would believe me. What they didn't know was I already told people about that back at the time. So as something is happening and you tell people, people are more aware that it's happening. They're more likely to say, oh yeah, I remember Shamega told me that. And I'll say Shamega because they call me Shamega. Shamega told me that. So that's the whole point. That's part of why I'm trying to do this as it's occurring, because as their victims are discovering this is happening to them, it's easier if you know the day it happened. My videos don't always go up the same day, but I try to release them as I can. So sometimes the date will be off. I'll tell you, today is August, what? Today is August 6th, Sunday. And I'm going to try to do that now in my video so that we have at least an idea of when something's occurring, what connects to it. Thank you for watching.